What is up, guys? Andrew, Adam, and Seth and Roxy here with the Outdoor Gladiators. Today, we're not doing a normal hunting video. We're in between seasons. We went fishing a couple weeks ago. Waterfowl season's coming, deer hunting season's coming, small game season's coming. Everything's coming up here in September. We're getting ready. We're gonna do a gear review, what we have, why we use it, and how we use it, so stay tuned.
Alright guys, this spot might look a little familiar to you. Me and Adam came out here last season on a teal hunt. That was actually a good time. I think we're going to end up coming back here again. But we're out here now. We're going to go over some decoys with you. So this is just a green-winged teal drake. Dakota Decoys. There's 1,000,001 different brands.
Oh yeah, it's all personal preference, depending. You know, maybe you have an experience with Dakota where their paint's not lasting. I, however, love these decoys. They work really well. Unless you shoot them, they're not foam filled. So, we've got Texas rigs on them. It's the best style we have found. This might work for us and not work for you. It might work for you and not for us. Whatever, do what you got to do to get you out duck hunting. So this is a Texas rig decoy. Basically, it's a swivel, and this weight slides here. Basically what this does is it doesn't tangle, and also it keeps your hands dry when you pick up these decoys. All you gotta do is pick up the head, grab this loop, and you're on to the next decoy. It's a wonderful thing. I've got here this is an older GHG Drake Mallard. A little bit of customization in the keel. This is now a water keel with a little bit of lead on the bottom. Just basically a filler decoy. We're not going to bring all our decoys out. We don't have time
or enough boats
to get all of our decoys. But basically, we just toss them out. It doesn't really, you know, we don't have a rhyme or a reason why we do it. We just basically leave a hole for these ducks to land in. Adam will show you how we throw it from in the boat, kind of grenade style.
Yeah, have fun with it.
Yeah, have fun with it. Helicopter it, do whatever. You know? just make a spread. And
so it's actually kind of nice the way he's throwing them right now too. Say you guys were us sitting there, you'd have a nice hole here to be able to shoot the birds, because they're going to want to try and land where all the other birds aren't, per se.
Right. They're not going to land on top of another bird, basically.
Right.
So you,
Roxy decided to come say hi. Come on, Roxy.
Good girl. Leave it. Good girl.
This is actually, I believe it's Roxy's first time out on a boat.
Her first time in a boat. She's doing really well.
A little nervous, but she's definitely come a long way in the 15 minutes we've been out here.
Oh yeah, and that's to be expected, you know. She's leaving the decoys alone, so that's a huge plus. We're gonna throw some bumpers for her a little later and see how she does.
Yeah.
We've got a lot more gear to go over. What do you want to do next, Seth?
Well, I guess we could, since Adam's standing in and you guys probably have a halfway decent view of them, we can go over the boats. Couple different options here. I mean, you don't have to have something like this.
No, a canoe will work.
Yeah, a canoe will work. Actually, I don't know if you guys remember from last season, Adam and I came out here in Andrew's canoe, and that's how we got all our decoys out here. And yeah, it was interesting when we shot birds and they landed too far away, but we got them. So this is my boat, 2014 Excel F4. got a, I don't know what brand blind it is, but it works good. Adam's going to try and set it up for you guys.
Eventually.
Yeah, eventually. 35 horse Vanguard. This wasn't the boat you guys saw me use for most of season last year. We used a little 15-foot aluminum, so it just goes to show you don't need it, but it definitely helped a little bit.
What's so good about this motor, Seth?
Well, you're not going to get it stuck. All these reeds out here, and all the underwater weeds that you'll see, those outboard motors are going to get hung up on it.
Quit pumping water and everything else. We can't have that. We don't need a burnout motor.
Right, and this thing will go through it. Basically, wherever you want to go, it'll go. So
It helps it's got all the bells and whistles so you look the part too.
yeah, my grandpa always told me it doesn't matter if you are good, it just matters if you look good doing it. So
That's right.
you guys might have noticed during a couple fishing videos, and maybe right now you can see we have all these holes in the bottom. Comes with owning the boat. It's maintenance. Never stops. So
Right. Yeah, she was filled full of water.
yeah, the foam underneath was soaked. We pulled probably 200 pounds out of the bottom of it.
At least 200 pounds.
At least 200 pounds. I still want to get into the hunt deck there and try and get the foam out of that. But I got this thing tied up pretty good, so Adam might be struggling with that for a minute. So while he's doing that, we'll walk over to Andrew's boat.
All right, this here's my boat. It's a 1436. It's a heavier aluminum flat bottom boat. Using a 22 horse longtail motor. Pluses and minuses about this motor. Pluses, it's cheap. You can get this motor for about $1,500 to $1,700, and it will go through just about anything you want to go through. Another plus is as long as your boat's floating, you're moving. So as long as I've got 4 to 6 inches of water, I'm going about 23 mile an hour. So the downsides,
Can't really think of many.
you
No
can't turn.
reverse.
No reverse.
Yeah.
No reverse. That's a pretty big downside. Here's my reverse. This here's a push
Yeah.
pull. That's reverse.
Manpower.
Turning is not the greatest, but it gets me out here for cheaper amount of money, and I get to do what I love to do. So I've got removable deck here. I've got my gas tank and battery underneath there. This whole front deck here lifts up, and I can put whatever I want underneath of it. There's a battery under there, and all my wiring and life jackets and all that safe stuff is all up under there. I guess the next thing we can talk about is a seat.
Me and these seats don't get along.
Oh, come on, Seth. What's wrong with the seat? Oh,
Almost.
that's what's wrong with the seat. So this is a swamp seat. This is a Cabela's Northern Flight. It's got a little mud stop here, so you push it down in the mud. You can sit on it. It won't go up past that area there. You can adjust the height on it. It's awesome. I don't really like to hunt out of the boat because I'm spoiled, but you can change the depth of water, whatever you're in here. So we'll set it. I don't know. This should be deep enough. You just shove her down in the water and top a squat. Gives you something to sit on while you're out in the water. Then beats standing. So there's a mud seat. You don't have to spend money on a mud seat. If you've got some scrap 2x4s laying around, make what they call a T-seat. Basically, it's just a piece of wood that'll stick in the mud, and it's got a 12, 14 inch piece of 2x4 screwed into the top of it, and that's all you need to make a T-seat. You don't have to get all fancy with a cushion or anything like that. Like I said, I'm a little spoiled. This here, I already said it was my reverse. This is a push-pull. Not only is it a push-pull, it's a paddle. So I can what do them French people do in the moat thing that they
in Venice?
In Venice.
I don't. Yeah, that's it. That's Italy.
I'm from Michigan, so So basically I can push this boat around wherever I want, sneak up on duck. It extends out to
A long ways.
So basically I can get down in that deep water, stick it down in the mud and push me wherever I need to go. Not only is it a push paddle, a push pole, a paddle, but it's got little decoy hooks on it too. So I'm standing in the boat, I don't have my waders. All I gotta do is reach under this duck here. And I've got my decoys. That is my push pole. I recommend that no matter what kind of boat you've got. Even if you have reverse.
I'm not fancy enough for one of those yet.
Oh, you'll have to get one, Seth. You can get one for 40 bucks for the pole, and then I think it's 15 bucks for just the paddle attachment. So for 55 bucks, you can have reverse.
Yeah. And something to keep in mind, guys, is you don't need to go out and buy all this stuff either.
No.
And you don't have to buy fancy decoys or anything like that.
No, go on Facebook Marketplace,
yeah.
Get some used decoys. Find a friend that duck hunts. If you're not into it, find somebody else that does it first, like Adam did.
Yeah, Adam got me into it, and now you see what I did. But it's addicting, guys. I basically gave up deer hunting for this, and I don't regret it,
Right.
Not even a little bit.
If you don't have patience to sit still and watch for deer, duck hunting's the way to go.
Got the grill set up in here making bacon last year.
Oh.
Yeah, I forgot about that. What, you want to say that again there, Adam?
We had this grill in here. No, this was in the old boat still.
Yeah.
And we didn't have much room, but we made it happen. We got a little Coleman grill, brought some bacon out here, some sausage, eggs, and a hot breakfast on a November morning when it was about 30 degrees outside.
And you tell me that you can go do that deer hunting. Can you do that deer hunting?
Maybe in your camper.
Yeah, that's what I
You
think.
can, but you ain't gonna get none.
So,
Not that we're trash talking deer hunting, it's still fun. but
Yeah.
This is funner,
Yeah.
in our opinion. Moving right along here, we've got a couple different options in flying decoys. So in some cases you can't use what they call a spinning wing decoy. There's areas in Michigan that that you just can't use it for reasons I don't understand. But it's a law, so we're not allowed to use it. So basically this is battery powered wings that spin, gives that illusion that this bird is landing in this area, gets some bird's attention from way out in the deep water, and gets us them birds in close. Diver ducks really love this style decoy. Teal really love this style decoy. So any chance we use, or we can use these, we do. You know, we got, how many do we have? I've got 2.
I got two.
we've got 2 between.
So
Well, he
4.
owns 2.
And then my other buddy that I'm normally hunting with, he has 2 as well. So we can set just these and be good. But realistically, if you go where the birds want to go, you don't need decoys at all. You just show up and wait for them to come.
Now, Andrew, is this something that you think that you absolutely have got to have to come out duck hunting?
This style decoy?
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Nope. There's pluses and minuses with everything, you know. It's the minuses is expensive. It's another battery you have to charge. Do you need it? Absolutely not. Birds will come into decoys sitting on the water. If they want to be there, they'll come into no decoy sitting on the water. That's a nasty looking mud wasp. Look at that thing.
I don't want to mess with them, so.
No. Sorry.
So, yeah.
Sidetrack. No, you don't need any of this stuff. This stuff is all optional. There's no reason to have it other than
The only thing you absolutely need is a gun and ammo.
gun and ammo and waders if you don't want to get wet.
Well, I mean, I'm getting wet right now because mine are leaking, but that's besides.
Hey,
the
that's
point.
another thing we can talk about. Waders.
Oh, yeah.
Wonderful things. They keep you dry. I highly recommend breathable waders. These have an insulation liner that you can unzip. I'm not wearing it now because it's 75 degrees out right
I'm
now.
not wearing mine either, so.
So I'm not trying to be too hot out here, but waders, get a good pair of waders.
That's the one thing I'd recommend not skimping on.
Yeah, don't cheap out on waders. If you can afford to spend $200 to $250, do it. The $100 pair of waders might last you a season if you're lucky. If you hunt fairly hard. Let's talk about this other decoy we got over here.
These ones are cool. I like this thing more than I like the spinning wing personally.
So, for in the instance you're not allowed to use that spinning wing decoy, Shiawassee Refuge is one place that you're not allowed to use a spinning wing decoy. Fish Point had talked about not using a spinning wing decoy. We're here up on the west side of the bay by Nyaquan. We're allowed to use them at Nyaquan. You can use them on state land anywhere you want. However, if you're not allowed to use them, I highly recommend this style decoy, if you can find it. This is old school. This is probably a early 90s, maybe even late 80s style decoy. Basically what it is just a mallard on a spring here, and with a little bit of wind, he bobbles a little bit, and it gives the illusion of this bird locked up landing in our decoy spread. Again, not another thing you have to buy, but if you find it, you can find these for 10-15 bucks maybe a piece. And it just gives that a little more realistic look to a spread. Also, not a lot of people use this style decoy. It's, like I said, it's old, and with the spinning wing decoys out now, people have gotten away from these. But if you can find one, it just looks different from anybody else. You'll have a better chance at shooting birds.
Got the blind set up.
Adam's got the blind set up.
It's easier with two people, I'll give them that. So, as you can see, if you were to be sitting in there and, normally you don't just park the boat out like this. You're really looking for some weeds to try and hide it in. A lot of places we went, like Quanticassee has a lot of Phragmites. This boat pretty much disappears in there. There's still a couple things that you can add to it to help, hide it a little bit more. Maybe another piece of cloth like this, which you can pick these up for 10 bucks and throw it over the front to hide all that. Really, for duck hunting, from what I've gathered, is hiding. You want to hide the best you physically can. The more camo you have, the better you are, it seems like some days. We use this on a couple hunts, and it seemed to help quite a bit, so hopefully we were a little more successful this season too. So
It keeps you out of the wind. You've got the tarp on there.
Yeah, that is one thing. So when I bought this boat from the gentleman that owned it previously, he took a Camo Tarp and backed this cloth with it. As you can see right through this cloth, So he took this tarp, and it helps block the wind. When you're out here and it's 30 degrees and blowing 20, 25 mile an hour, it's cold. It's really cold, and every little bit helps, and that's part of the reason why I'm going to keep it on there for sure. No questions asked, it's going to stay.
This is not the only style of blind.
No.
Got ones that completely mount on one side and flip all the way over you.
Yep.
This style here, they just have some that just have walls, and you can just hide behind it. So.
And you can build something like this for next to nothing. I'm pretty sure I've seen guys come out here with 2x4s attached to their boat, and then they take tarps and drape it over the sides. It looks good.
Conduit's another good cheap substitute.
Yeah.
You can make the same exact style blind actually out of some 3/4 conduit, and that stuff's cheap. It's like $3 for a 10-foot piece.
Mm-hmm.
So for fairly inexpensive, you can build yourself a frame for a blind. The expensive part is putting the camouflage on it.
As anyone knows that hunts, camo for whatever reason is never cheap. It adds $5 to everything. It makes no sense.
Yeah, look at a synthetic gun compared to a camoed synthetic gun. You're talking another $150 at least.
And that's something you guys will see later. I think we're going to try and go over guns as well. So
Yeah, we didn't bring those out with us.
don't want to deal with the legality issues of that.
Right.
So, maybe we'll set up some here in Michigan. Before I go that far, we're lucky enough to have several different types of hunting. You can hunt obviously your teal and mallards and gadwall and pintail, all your puddle ducks. But if you want to, you could get out on some big water and hunt diver ducks, and that's a whole different speed of hunting. I enjoy it quite a bit. And I'm lucky enough to have a couple friends that own boats that will be permanently out there, so I'm hoping that this year you guys will see us out on some diver duck hunts too. That's a whole different animal. So.
Really, you can do a very similar setup for mallards and teal and your puddle ducks as you can for your diver ducks, right?
Yeah, actually, a lot of almost every hunt I went on with Andrew, we set up our puddle ducks with diver duck decoys. The mixed bags we got was fantastic.
Right, as long as we can get out on that big water,
Yep.
you know, on the edge of it.
Yep.
We'll always pull a couple divers. It does help to have. I gotta watch Adam struggle real quick.
It can be done with one person.
It's not fun, but it can be done.
I'm just getting no breeze and starting to sweat in here, so he's doing his job, but it's the wrong day for it.
I guess while he's doing that, what kind of weather do you think is best for duck hunting? I mean, because we've killed ducks. You hear that duck hunting is, crappy weather sport, it seems like. But I think some of the best hunts we had were days just like today. Colder, but bright, sunny, just a little bit of wind.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Everybody says that if it's raining and windy and just terrible outside, snow. Actually, the best hunt you can ever have is the very first snow. So I'm gonna be sick that day. But bluebird day like today, you could go out and shoot your limit of ducks. You just have to be where they want to be, you know. It's all about scouting. Put the time in before season, during season even. Never stop scouting. Find the tall weeds next to some water and kick some birds out of it.
And you guys will be seeing a lot more of that. I mean, we got a month till season now. A month from tomorrow.
A month from tomorrow, September 1st.
That's early teal season.
Yep.
And I believe you saw Justin and Andrew go out and hammer.
Oh my goodness, that was a hunt of a lifetime. We shot so many birds that day. Birds were working great. They come right around the point, right into our decoys. Every single time we had birds dropping right in. The DNR came and checked us out that day.
Okay.
Just talk to those guys, you know.
Yeah.
As long as you're doing everything legal, they're not going to have a problem with you. There's no reason to be snotty with them. They're going to be nice and cordial with you, and as long as everything's legal. Actually, I shot a teal while we were getting checked out. They pulled up on us and they said, "You're still hunting."
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They don't want you to stop hunting. That's one thing. I think that's what they told us. You don't have to stop hunting just because we're here.
Right.
The only person that couldn't hunt was the guy that was having his gun checked.
Yep.
And it took them, 2 minutes
Yeah.
to check everything out, and then they're gone. They're on their way, you know.
That's
But,
2 boats.
yeah.
2 boats with 3 people each.
Yep.
Yeah.
Less
that
than
was,
5 minutes, they were in and out.
Yep.
Didn't disrupt our hunt any.
No.
They
I
didn't
think we
even-
left with 18, 20 birds that day.
We still had birds coming in while they were there. We shot one when they came in, and you know, it just get along with them and they'll get along with you. A lot of people have issues with the DNR, and
I find that if you give them any sort of flack, why are you checking me kind of thing, I'm just give them what they ask for.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. And that goes with really any law enforcement. So
This
Right.
with life.
yeah, show them a little bit of respect, and you're gonna have quite an easy time because they didn't even. They just said, "Have a good hunt," and then away they go.
you know,
That was
I
the
mean,
end of
they're
it.
just doing their job. You know,
Yeah.
Everybody's got a job to do, and that's theirs. So, luckily, they're out there getting the people that are doing things illegally, you know, without license or
If
or
no one hunted
whatever.
illegally, we wouldn't have them checking us.
Right.
So do your part.
Yeah,
Do it right.
Be smart about it.
What do you guys want to go over next?
What else we got? I got this kind of cool homemade dealio I got here. So this here is a pintail. You can buy this whole setup like this, basically the same exact thing. It's basically what it does is pumps water and sprays it out. It kind of bobs a little bit. You can buy it for like $100, and I'm super cheap, so I built it for about $40. What you need is a bilge pump and some fittings and a duck butt. Other things you're gonna need is a 12-volt battery, a blinker relay. So if this thing was working, which it's not, it would sit in the water. You throw this here down in the water, that's your weight now. And then this will squirt water up and just sit here and bounce. Give a nice ripple effect. If you don't have any wind, this is a really good option just for getting a little bit of motion in your decoys if you don't want to run a spinning wing decoy or anything like that. This will just give a little ripple, just something for them birds that are really high up, maybe pull them down to hopefully get a shot at.
Another thing, so he mentioned earlier about the not being able to use these spinning wing decoys in like Shiawassee. You can put what's called a jerk rig out there. They don't care about that. That's all you ripping on a cord trying to get the decoys in motion.
Right, so basically a jerk cord is an anchor in the water past all of your decoys. It's got a rubber band on it that you hook 3, 4, 5 decoys to, and then you pull this string and that rubber band stretches and your decoys move back and forth. Works really well. It's a lot of people don't use them just because they're kind of a pain in the butt to set up, but they work great.
Yeah.
It adds a lot of motion.
Yeah, I know. I went on a teal hunt in Shiawassee that we didn't film. Well, I didn't film. It was just me and a couple other friends, not from the Gladiators. And that's what we used. And we shot a 4-man limit of teal in about an hour and a half. So it works. Testament to that, it works.
Must have missed that invite.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I didn't get invited to that one, Seth.
No. Whoops. It was a last minute thing for me anyways. I found out that, like, as we're packing up from a hunt out here, it was like, hey, you want to come hunt here? I'm like,
That means we were out here.
we were already full.
Grab that blind bag behind you there, Seth. So this is my blind bag. I carry everything in it. My shotgun shells, all that good stuff, all my extra stuff that I want to stay dry. There's a ton of different bags out there. A backpack works just fine. I prefer something with a hard bottom that way because water's going to get in your boat. That's just how it goes. And it keeps the bottom of your bag nice and dry. One of the first things that I always have with me is a nice machete. You get into a lot of cover out here, like for Seth's blind, adding a little bit of natural cover to it goes a long ways. It also can help you if you have too much cover in front of you, you can knock some down. I highly recommend a machete. $3 you can buy one from Harbor Freight. It doesn't have to be anything special as long as it'll cut a weed down. It doesn't have to. You don't have to spend $100 on a machete to cut weeds down. Next thing I have in here, always extra hat. Riding in a boat, there goes your blind or your hat. So you can throw one on real quick and you're good to go. Spotlight. Yes, I do have a spotlight on the front of my boat. Seth has one on his front of his boat. But you don't want to turn towards the weeds every time you're looking for the spot you want to sit. Get a waterproof because you're gonna drop it. It's gonna rain on it. Whatever. Get a good spotlight.
Everything you have duck hunting is going to get wet.
Guaranteed to get wet.
If it's not, you're done.
Next thing is my calls. Lots of different options out there for calls. I run a couple different calls. I'll change my calls out during the season, just to get a different sound. If I'm sitting in the same spot, the same sound to these birds, just change it up a little bit, you know. I've got a goose call on here, a Tim Grounds Real Thing. I've got a duck lander, loud timber, hand cut duck call. That sounds really nice. And then I also have an Elite Freak. Is one of my favorite duck calls. Also on this loop here, I have a Redneck Reaper. He's our sponsor. He takes really good care of us. I just don't have mine on here. It's still on the shelf.
I got mine though.
Seth got his. Check him out on Facebook, Redneck Reaper. He just came out with a new call, the Timber Taker. You have one of those, right?
Yeah, this guy was. I think you were the first one to get one, weren't you?
Other than the man who makes them.
That call is a quieter call,
Yeah.
smaller bore, turns over super easy. Great sounding call.
And I just got a lot of calls on mine, just to show you some variations here. This is not what will be on my final lanyard for the season. Like he said, it'll change probably 15 times, it feels like.
You don't need to take out every lanyard you
No,
own,
no.
or every call you own
Yeah.
on your lanyard. You can.
Yeah, you definitely can.
That's just
I like
one or two calls in case one sticks or breaks or something ridiculous.
I mean,
A lot of people keep an extra one in the bag in case they forget their lanyard in their truck.
yeah.
Most people have been there.
And,
You never know. This is a rear view mirror hanger, and more times than not, you forget it there. So
take it everywhere too. If you're gonna get into duck hunting, get a call and take that thing everywhere.
yeah,
Annoy your wife, annoy your girlfriend,
Guaranteed.
whoever. You have someone get in your vehicle and look at your duck calling. Say, please don't blow that. Please, for the love of God, don't blow that. Mine go with me to work. It's just, it helps. And if you aren't practicing from the end of season to beginning of season, probably not going to sound the greatest. So
it does. It takes a lot of practice, and there's a lot of different techniques that you can use.
blowing a goose call is completely different than a duck call.
Oh, yeah.
Each duck call has its own way to blow it. If you blow too hard, some break over and it sounds like crap.
Squeal, yeah.
Yeah,
Puberty
squeal.
duck.
Yep.
Single reed versus double reeds.
Yeah.
Yeah, so many different options out there for different sounding calls, and even two of the same calls next to each other could sound a little bit different, you know.
We can test that. We got 2 meat hangers. Mine's back at the house. That's got one on his.
Yeah, we got 2 different meat hangers actually. And I didn't buy any of these calls besides this one brand new. I think all of my calls have been bought used from Facebook websites and things like that.
Yeah,
So-
there's a lot of used calls out there
Yeah.
you can take advantage of, because they're not cheap, guys. They're pretty expensive.
Well, here's an example, a good one. JJ Lair's hybrid. What, $150 new?
Yep.
I paid
At least.
$75 for it. I mean, it is used. You can tell it's been hunted, but that's okay with me. It's gonna get hunted one way or another. So, yeah, just get a call. Don't be afraid to blow it. If you go out with someone and you're not confident, don't blow it.
Yep. Yeah.
Practice.
There's only one way to get better at duck calling, and that's practice. You know,
Practice, practice, practice.
like you said, try to annoy people with it.
My wife kicks me out of the house after a certain time.
She hears them rattling.
Yeah, you gotta go.
Next thing in the bag, Adam already said it. An extra set of decoys. Yep, extra set of calls, because they get left. You dip them in water, they start sticking, they start sounding terrible. Grab your extra calls out, and these you don't have to have super nice calls for. You don't even have to have super nice calls. This is a $15 call, and you tell me the difference between this $15 call and a $150 call. That's a Buck Gardner double nasty. It's a polycarbonate call. It's $15. So I just tell you.
And that's another double reed. So the one he was blowing was a double reed. This one's also a double reed.
So I'm probably gonna mess it up, but I'm gonna give her a whirl. So if you can tell the difference between a $15 call and a $150 call, or even a $100 call, you got better ears than I got. Why do we have the more expensive calls? I don't know. Why?
Just cool. Kind of the same reason why you buy a V8 car versus a V6 car, just to flex on somebody. That's literally the only reason.
Right.
And again, like I said, that one I paid $60 for.
Yeah, you
So,
don't have to spend.
Yeah,
you don't have to buy it new.
no. You need. Don't buy them all new.
Especially if you're just getting into it.
Yeah. So, and if you're worried about germs and all that stuff, disinfectant wipe. You're not gonna hurt the call. Just run it over it, clean it up. You'll be just fine.
They all have cork in them, or a rubber piece. This one's got a cork. This can be changed out. You can get a new reed for it, and that's basically it. If it doesn't sound good, you can get a new cork for it, and it'll pop right back to its original sound. I'm gonna own this one.
No, I'm gonna own
Bet.
that. Listen, I got a layers he wants, so we can trick.
Next thing we got here is binoculars. Waterproof. You know, binoculars is probably one of the best things you can have. If you get stranded, you can signal with it. You know, there's a lot of different things you can do with it other than look through. But more times than not, we're looking at flocks of birds that are way out. We're looking at other hunters, the way they're set up, if they're shooting a lot of birds, just to get an idea of what we need to do, and if there's anything we can change. But binoculars are another good thing to keep in the bag. What else we got in here?
Some light, some more lights.
Oh yeah,
Never.
headlamp. Get. Oh, two. I might have another in there. Headlamp.
This one's missing a battery.
Yep, right here. But get a couple headlamps, because it's gonna die on you out there. Almost guarantee it's gonna die. You're setting up in the dark. You're picking up in the dark. You don't want to do it all off of the light on the front of the boat. So a headlamp is just another simple thing. It doesn't have to be a $100 headlamp. You can buy a pack of those ones on eBay. Rechargeable, super bright. They zoom. I think for $40 for 6 of them or something stupid.
I think
like
I bought mine and yours for $15 a piece.
Right. Yeah.
And it's one of those things too, right? If it gets ruined, I'm only out $15.
Right. For one of them.
Yeah. What do I care?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So just get a couple headlamps, throw them in your bag. This takes up almost zero room. You know, it's just something extra good to have, you know. What else do I got?
You ain't got no blind snacks. What's wrong with you?
Oh.
Blind snacks. Always
Yeah.
have blind snacks.
Yeah, donuts. Bag of donuts. Some Camo Makeup. I don't wear it very often unless it's a bluebird day. Like today, you can put it on your face just to get that shine is really what you're trying to do is get rid of that shine. They can see really, really well, and if you can, like Seth said earlier, camo. If you are going to spend money anywhere, it's going to be camo. This is like $1.50, and it'll help.
Especially if you're out with youth who don't have any facial hair at all.
Right.
Yeah.
Or you're like me who can't grow a beard. Andrew shaved this morning. He's got this.
Andrew shaved when we left. What are you talking about?
And extra gloves. It starts getting cold towards the end of season. Gloves, extra gloves are incredible to have. You're gonna get them wet. Your hands are gonna get cold. This is a shooting glove, so I'm right-handed. I pull the trigger with my right hand. This is a glove for just your left hand. However, it's got this pocket in the front, that you can keep your trigger finger warm with. So you're basically keeping your hands out of the water, keeping them dry, keeping them warm, and still able to shoot. That's pretty much my blind bag. I also keep my ammo in there. I normally shoot 2-shot for duck, 12 gauge 3-inch 2-shot, and I shoot the same but double B for goose. Teal season, we like to lighten the load a little bit, shoot 4s or anywhere between 4s and 6s is plenty to kill a teal.
Right now, it's kind of one of those things, though, and we're all, well, I'm experiencing that. These guys still have some ammo left over, but it's kind of like crunch time, right? I'm trying to find what I can, you know, so I got enough to get me through the first part of the season, so I'll be all right. But
yeah, right now with the COVID stuff still
happening,
we're still struggling with the ammo department, you know, trying to get that back in shape. And it's starting to come back, but
yeah, there's a couple manufacturers that are still coming out.
Yeah, we're going to be shooting a lot of Kent this year. Kent has been able to keep their production.
That's what cycles out of my gun the best anyway.
Right,
so.
right. And it's all personal preference. You don't have to spend $40 for a box of ammo. You still have to hit the bird to kill it. So
I don't think anybody we hunt with hunts that black cloud right there.
No.
And that's like $36 a box.
Yeah, you don't need that
great
stuff.
but you don't need it.
Yeah, no.
If you want to go for it and spend the money on it, more power to you, but I'd rather spend some money on new waders, decoys, more ammo.
It's a lot of work, guys, but it's a lot of fun.
Yep.
It is a lot of fun. So.
Yep. What else do we got?
Oh, we got the dive line.
We've got the diver line. That's fun.
Yeah, well,
We've got to cover.
it's more fun if you have a boat with reverse. That is another downside of both these boats.
So basically, what a diver line is it's a line of decoys with a weight at each end of the line. So basically what you do is you pick the point of where you want your decoys to start, you throw one anchor out, and you slowly start taking this line out and throwing these decoys out as you go.
This is typically diver ducks.
Yeah, so for whatever reason, divers like to follow this line right into your decoys. We've got 6 of these we can set up. We also have a layout boat. That's a really low profile boat that you literally lay inside your decoys that we're able to hunt as well. And these divers just like to follow that line right in. There is benefits to them. There's downsides to them, just like anything else. If you, depending on how you set them up, you could either push them birds out further away from you, or you could turn them right into your spread. So set it up. If it's not working, change it. The birds aren't going to change. You got to change. So
there's a couple videos I've watched and things I've learned is if Roxy's going crazy behind you guys. Too bad you can't see it, but
there's a bird on the shore there, ain't there?
I think so.
She retrieved.
At any rate, learn from every flock of birds. If they didn't like something, they flared on you for some reason.
The next flock is probably going to do the same.
Learn. Why didn't they like it? Are we not hidden enough? Okay, well, maybe we need to figure out the cover situation.
Yeah.
Oh, they didn't like the spread. Okay, well, go out there and change it. I mean, you got to learn from every flock. Every flock's going to do something different.
Right.
I mean, you can't count on the bird to do everything the same every time.
Right. The other thing we've learned is you never know. You know, we had birds that were flight birds. They were coming down from Canada, and
we had been calling all day at every flock, and nothing. We did shoot a few.
Yeah, we had a couple come in.
But Andrew, we're sitting in this boat, and Andrew goes, we're getting ready to kind of call it for the day, and he goes, you know what, let's see what happens. He lets half a quack out. I'm not joking, half a quack. And these birds just dump it. They want in.
300 yards up, they started spiraling down. It was crazy to watch. There was probably 30 of them drop straight down from 300 yards.
And I had a lot of fun. That was probably one of the coolest hunts I've been on.
We knocked down 4 of them that time, and that was fun. That was a lot of fun.
Too bad you couldn't be there for
Must
that
have
one.
missed the invite.
I think you were working or something.
I must have been.
You had something going on. I know you couldn't
Probably a
go.
wedding. I went to like 300 weddings.
Yeah, last year, I don't know if you guys remember, opening day was actually that guy's wedding. And,
Yeah, we had to hurry up and get him home.
we had to have him back by one, per his mom.
And soon to be wedding.
Yeah, and a soon-to-be wife, now wife. Pulled in his driveway at 12:59.
Yep.
12:59, he was in his driveway. And we shot 18 birds that
Cleaned a bunch of birds and got married.
I
That's a good day.
I don't think you can get a much better day than
No,
that.
that's a pretty good day.
Do it again this year. They moved it up a week, so.
Yep.
Yeah, that is one thing, guys, is always check your local rules and regulations on everything. This area we are standing in right now used to open, what, a week after?
Week later.
A week later
Yep.
from mid-zone. And now starts the same time.
They just moved the zone line.
Yep.
Basically, all of the Saginaw Bay now is that middle zone, whereas
Yeah.
before it was cut off. So
Yeah.
that's going to be a big change this year, and we'll see what happens with it. There's a lot of guys complaining about it. There's a lot of guys super excited about it. So I'm kind of neutral. I don't know exactly what to think about it. We'll
Wait
see
until
what happens.
season comes. Make
It's
your
all
opinion.
weather dependent, right?
Yep.
So, we get cold quick, it might start pushing some birds down, which might end up helping.
Yep.
If it stays warm like it did last year, right up until almost into season,
Yep.
So,
I think that's just about all we got for water.
yeah.
A lot more stuff back at the house.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
we're going to take you guys back to Andrew's house, and we're going to go over field hunting for geese and ducks, and at that point we'll show you what guns we're using, things like that. I think
show you a couple
brought yours.
blinds.
Yeah, a couple blinds, maybe even show you how you pop in and out of them, because I know I'm a big guy, and it's we'll figure that out. So
Yeah, so stay tuned, and we'll see you back at the house.
What's up, guys? We're back at the house. We're gonna go over some field hunting stuff that we got here. These guys didn't want to be in a cool pop-up video.
listen, I'm too big for that.
We're gonna start off with the duck decoys. These are some GHGs. It's a oversized mallard. We got drakes and hens out here, feeders, and then lookers, sentries. They have these motion stakes here, and basically there's a cone in here that keeps it moving. A little bit of wind moves these things around, makes them, give them a little bit of lifelikeness to them. They also come with stands if the ground is too hard or too frozen.
I got a quick fix for that. Take a drill, re-drill the hole.
Yeah, you could. Sometimes it's hard to hit the cone. Next we got full body goose decoys. There's a lot of different types of goose decoys out there for a field. You can hunt full bodies, you can hunt silhouettes, you can hunt socks. There's a lot of different styles. I prefer full bodies. It's a little more work, a little heavier than a silhouette, but they're also on a base. A little bit of wind will get these things spinning right around and real lifelike. It's basically the same setup in the water as it is on land. You know, you put a lot of decoys out with a pocket, and the birds are going to try to land in that pocket. Most of the time, where there's birds, there's food, and the other birds that are coming in want to beat the other birds that are already there to the food. So that's kind of the idea. Next thing on the list, we didn't go over it in the water because we didn't have our guns out there, but
Right.
Floating gun case. Doesn't have to be camo, but floating gun case is a huge thing. I've sank a boat. I'm not proud of it. I sank a boat Didn't lose my gun because it was in a case.
You can pick these things up. I think I got this one from Cabela's for like 15 bucks.
Yeah, they're
they're
super cheap.
Yeah.
And you have to have a case on your gun while you're in the boat anyways, transporting. So it might as well be a floating gun case.
And get a couple of them so you have a dry one if you're going out multiple days in a row.
Right, it's guaranteed to get wet. That way you can put your gun in a dry bag that night.
It's going to be wet the next day.
Right. Next is my light. So there's a lot of fields that the farmer won't allow you to drive out into where you can use your headlights or lights on the trailer or whatever. So I built this tripod light. It's basically a speaker stand with a hunk of wood and some light bars on it. You hook a battery to it, you can move it wherever you want, lights up the entire field. You don't even need a headlamp out there. It's fantastic.
It's like turning on the sun
Oh,
at 4 in the morning.
yeah, we have, what do we have, 3 of them, and it just makes a huge difference. Even if you're allowed to drive out in the field, you can still set this up and light up another part that isn't lit up well with your trailer lights or your headlights. Or without having to move the truck, you can just take this wherever you want to go. So. Another thing that I would bring out, just about every goose hunt, whether you can walk out or can drive out, a jet sled. Take that, duck. Jet sled. Carry your decoys if you can't trailer out. Picks up cover to stuff your blinds with. A machete so you can cut cover. You're gonna get your hands cut up if you're trying to pull corn out of the ground or whatever. Another machete. Don't forget to bring a rake with you so you can make that ground look inconspicuous as possible. A lot of times if you have permission, you're digging down into the field and there's a lot of black dirt that sits next to your blind. Well, if you can't rake the area around it and put some cover on it, you're going to have a big old dark spot right where your blind is. It's basically a target or a neon sign showing right where you're sitting. So a rake and a shovel and a machete is real big, good tools to take out there with you. Next on the list is a layout blind. This is an older blind. It's made by Final Approach. There's a ton of different blinds out there. This one's super comfortable. The downside to it is you have to dig deep to get it flat just because of how high the profile is. It's super comfortable, hides really well. Lots of room in here. I could have the dog in here as well if I didn't have her blind. The doors spring open super easy, and there's lots of room in here for your bag, for your snacks, because you gotta have snacks.
A gun.
You gotta have a gun. Your calls, everything. It just keeps you really well hidden. You can pick up a blind like this anywhere from $100 to you could spend $500, $600 on a blind.
Watch for sales, marketplace again for layout blinds. You can find good deals.
Craigslist, you don't have to buy new stuff.
I think I just picked one up on sale. It was 116 bucks shipped.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, off of Rogers Sporting Goods. Yep. Next thing I got to show you is Roxy's blind. I'm going to use it for water. I'm going to use it for land. It's a Momarsh Invisilab here. Super nice looking camo on it. It's got Optifade camo. It's got a vented bottom, nice and sturdy hammock. Roxy, here. Blind. Good girl. Good girl. She fits really well in it. It'll hold a lot bigger dog. The legs fold up, so it can be easily transported. They also extends, so if you're in deeper water, you can get into about 3 foot of water with this thing, and keep your dog nice and dry and comfortable. So definitely a nice piece of equipment to have if you're hunting over a dog.
Haven't invested in a dog yet.
It's a lot of work.
We'll just use Roxy for now.
Our decoy bags, I don't have all my decoys in bags. I have so many of them, and bags are expensive, but they slotted bags here keep all your decoys organized. I have way more decoys than what I have out here. Again, we don't have time to set them all up. See exactly what, I don't even know what I have anymore.
Too many?
Kind of embarrassing, but.
Well, I guess you can never have too many.
Last but not least, we've got the blind back here. I guess it's not last. We got guns to show and everything else. We got an A-frame blind. This is a comfortable 3-man sitting upright blind.
Go join him, Seth.
There's snaps at each end. Lots of room in here. You can set up 3 chairs and be super comfortable and sit up while you're hunting. How these work, I don't know. A lot of people shoot a lot of birds out of them. We shot a handful last year, and it's just a lot more comfortable to hunt out of. We're going to take advantage of this thing a lot more this coming season and see what we can do with it. Birds just haven't figured it out yet, so we're going to take advantage of that while we can. As you can see, we kind of have this one halfway grassed in. Basically, when I was saying about the Machete and the jet sled and everything else, you don't want to pull stuff right from where you're at. You want the same cover, but not from the same area. So if you can get 50, 80 yards away and get that same cover and bring it back to where you're hunting, that's more beneficial. That way you're not emptying your cover from your area. This A-frame, Roxy's blind, and also the layout blind have these stubble straps here. And basically it's just a strap that's sewed every couple inches. You're able to take some cover here, bend it in half or stick it straight in, whatever, and make this blind disappear. It really goes a long ways. The better camo you can get on your blind, the closer the birds are going to get. Freaking me out, Roxy. Now let's talk about guns. I shoot a 12 gauge 3-inch TriStar Viper G2. It gave me some problems last year. I'm going to do it again this year. I did have to replace the gas piston in it, and I think that solved all my issues. TriStar was excellent with customer service, and hopefully no issues this year. Seth, what are you shooting?
So lots of debates between his, as he said, he's got a gas gun. Mine is inertia driven, so just the recoil itself is what operates the gun. This is a Stoeger M3000, 3-inch 12 gauge. I mean, it's a little bit different. There's a lot more recoil to it. You take most of it, and that's what helps the gun operate. It helps if you have a real good shoulder on it. Otherwise, it might jam up on you. I've had a few issues here and there. And I don't know what that was. She might have got stung or something. Anyway, couple issues here and there with it. But I think most of that was it wasn't broken last season. So we'll take a look at it this season and run a few rounds and see what happens with it. So Stoeger has been great with me too. If I've had any issues with it, I just tell them having problems, and they say, okay, we'll send you the part or send it into you. So, but that's it on this one. Adam kept his in a
I keep mine
bag.
in there.
It was nice.
Mine is actually the same gun Andrew shoots. Slightly different camo pattern on it, but same thing. 12 gauge, 3-inch TriStar. Slightly different camo pattern, probably just different manufacturer year. I don't think I've had issues with this other than just general wear and tear. This is an older gun. It's actually Seth's basically given it to me at this point, more or less. But little piece of plastic broke off here. Got on the computer, talked to TriStar. They had me ship that piece into them, and they sent it back within 2 weeks. And then they had a recall on the charging handle. Again, customer service was great. Never had any issues with them. So I like it. Doesn't help me shoot any better. I suck still, but maybe someday I'll be a decent shot.
Practice, practice, practice. We can't all be Andrew here and take 45-yard shots and nail birds and then miss the ones that are 2 feet in front of them.
Alright guys, well there it is. Pretty much what we use for duck season. Hope it helps some of you. I know we've all had the itch to go duck hunting since January of last year when duck season ended.
Yeah.
If we missed anything, or you guys think that a way you guys do something might help us, definitely put it down in the comments. Like Andrew said, as Seth said, we all said it. I mean, pretty much any type of hunting is personal preference to a point. Just the basics of get hidden, have the right stuff set up the right ways, and practice. And without practice, you're probably not going to be very successful.
Yeah, and annoy your significant other with your duck calls.
From Seth.
Yeah. If there's something that you guys want to see more of, let us know. Whether it's guns or, you know, the boats, whatever it may be. Maybe Andrew can even throw a duck call tutorial in there. I know.
Way to put the pressure on. All right.
Well, I'm just saying, the way you taught me how to do it helped me, even after watching other YouTube videos, the way you taught me helped me learn more than some of the other videos. So, and the way he does it is different than a lot of other guys I've seen. So
It's all personal preference. Whatever makes you work, whatever gets you where you need to be, is, you know, do it. So.
All right, well, we're going to go clean up this stuff and wait for the next 4.5, 5 weeks, and we'll have some, definitely some teal duck and goose videos coming out to you in the next couple of months. I know all the gladiators are getting excited for their respective hunting seasons. I know deer season's coming up for us, so those guys are getting their bows out. You may see some of that stuff real soon, but definitely I can speak for the duck hunting. It's going to happen this year.
we're ready.
We're ready. Let's go shoot some plates.
Yeah.
Okay.
You dip them in water accidentally. I said dick.
Edit that out.